Is anger destroying your life, or is anger saving your life? The way that you use anger will dictate the answer to that question. How do you use anger? Most people think there's only one kind of anger, but anger is its own field of study, its own area of study, which I've given a lot of time to studying. And I'll explain the different kinds of anger right now so you can become a master at anger, so you may use it to save your life, to improve your life, to become the man that you want to be with the strength and the resolve that you would like to have, instead of being a man who is destroyed by his anger or has his relationships destroyed by his anger and his ability to use anger in an empowering fashion, but not doing so well. So the different kinds of anger are an anger that produces a contraction. I call this implosive anger. So let's say if people are trying to use anger as a way to motivate themselves to do something difficult, say like working out or meditating with like focus and dedication, consistency, a lot of people will use the implosive anger, a contraction causing anger, where similar to how you would try to get an animal to explode out from where you've cornered it by making it feel small and contracted, you'd be like, you motherfucking piece of shit animal, right? If you did that, then you would hope that by doing that it'll cause the animal to explode and be like, no, I'm not, like I'm not a piece of shit. But the problem with that is even if that works sometimes, and a lot of personal trainers will operate like this, a lot of coaches of athletic departments will operate like this, even if it works in the short term, often what will happen is after enough repetitions of that contraction-based anger, that implosive kind of anger that makes something smaller in order to make it explode and set its boundaries and reclaim its sense of power and sovereignty, the more that you do that, the more likely you are just to actually get them so contracted with threat energy and anger that it will shut them off. It'll shut the animal off and it'll go into a freeze response. And so that's what depression is. Depression is literally, that's not coming from fatigue. Emotional-based depression is coming from, there's so much anger in the system that it trips like the circuit breaker, and then all of a sudden you have a deactivation and you go flaccid. And most people think that's because you don't have enough anger, but it's actually because you have too much anger. So implosive anger is not really what you want to use, except in like rare, extreme circumstances. It's kind of like the emergency boosters on your spaceship. You don't want to be using those as your main engines. Okay? And then, now here's another kind of anger, which is the anger that can combat helplessness. I like to call this center-pointed anger, or a piercing anger, a piquant anger, if I'm using that word properly. And so you can identify a feeling of helplessness in your body, whereas implosive anger is directed at who you are. A center-pointed anger is directed at a helpless energy in and of itself, a depressed energy, an I can't energy in and of itself. And so you identify where that helplessness energy is in your body. This is what an energy block is so much threat energy is in a certain part of your body that part of your body has gone flaccid. Now you can't feel anything there, and therefore now you can't have any feelings of power there. So this middle anger, this center-pointed anger, is very useful. You want to take the anger and find the place in your body where you feel helpless or you can't feel anything and therefore don't have any power there. Say like your heart, if you feel like you have like a weak or powerless heart, or if you have a weak or powerless like sexual area, I want you to visualize taking the fire of anger, visualize a fire, send it down to those areas of block and low feeling, and then sit there and just burn it up. And use the fire and the heat of anger to sit there and burn up the blackness of the contracted, helpless energy, right? So I can do it right now, do it in my heart a little bit, so it's like, ooh, I have like a little bit of tension there. So it heats it up and it just burns it. It burns off all of the blockages and the impurities to feeling a power there. And the difference between this and implosive or reinforcing contraction anger is that you're not directing this fiery anger towards who you are, you're directing it towards helplessness energy in and of itself, which is not who you are. It is just an energy, and a feeling. So this is the center-pointed anger, the piercing anger, and this one is very powerful for burning up feelings of helplessness without making you feel attacked or less than as a result of using anger towards yourself or part of yourself. Okay, now there's the third anger. So that's the first anger is contractive. The second anger is piercing, balanced, center point anger, right? Burns up the helplessness, insecurity. And then there's the third anger, which is expansive or explosive anger, right? And whereas the first anger, the contractive anger, seeks to get someone to explode, the third type of anger, but it's a gamble because it doesn't always work. Sometimes it just reinforces helplessness. The third type of anger is explosive, and there's no gamble on whether it's going to cause you to explode or not because, well, you're literally starting off foundationally with visualizing that anger being expansive and exploding. So there's no gamble on whether that's going to work or not. So I'll give you an example for this. The contractive anger, there's like a coach in an athletic department would be like, "Come on, you little bitch. Do better. You're such a pussy. You're disappointing me. You're disappointing me," right? And you could see how that could work sometimes, but also it could just get you to shut off. Whereas the explosive, inspired anger, because there's also explosive anger that will make other people feel contracted. But really what you want, so there's like even different types of sub-angers within these different contraction, piercing, or expansive angers. So you want to have inspired expansive anger, where it's anger with whatever you're working with, right? So if you're a coach in an athletic department, or you're trying to motivate yourself in the gym, or to run harder, or to concentrate better, you want to have this anger you want to use to inspire and expand and uplift and motivate. And the way you do that is, so the contractive coach would be, "Come on, you little bitch." The expansive, inspiring coach would be, "Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, dig, dig, dig," right? So you can see how that anger is an anger with. It's an anger that causes unity and therefore wholeness and therefore healing. And therefore when you use that, it's like the anger of a tribe of brothers who are urging each other on to be stronger with the anger that goes back and forth. It's a ha, 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 right? And that's what you want. So those are the different types of, So those are the different types of anger, okay? And depending on which one you use and what your pattern is will dictate whether anger is destroying your life and your relationships or making you more powerful, more sovereign, and more able to achieve anything that you want, be any kind of man that you want to be, and earn whatever you would like to earn in terms of respect in your social relationships, financial acquisition, respect in your field, or just accomplishing your goals that you've set out to accomplish. So I hope you liked that. That has helped me a lot to learn those things about the different kinds of anger and the field of study of anger. And let me know what you think. And if you would like help in overcoming your feelings of helplessness or emotional suffering, and you would like some more dedicated, focused, calibrated support in how to burn up and heal and overcome all of those feelings of suffering and helplessness, reach out to me. I'm currently offering one-on-one sessions. So let's talk about what you're trying to achieve. What do you think's holding you back? And let's get you to where you want to go together. All right. This has been Johnny. Let me know what you think about the video. Can't wait to hear from you and make the next video. And much love. Until next time, bye-bye.